Hi everyone, welcome. My name's Jonathan, and for today's Vinyasa practice, you'll need a blanket and 2 blocks. Go ahead and set yourself up on the mat, and let's get started. Sit cross-legged or kneeling, rest the palms face down or face up on the thighs, and close your eyes. Just notice how the breath feels as it flows in through the nose, out through the nose. Just allowing that to be comfortable and easy. Take an inhale that expands the belly, the ribs, the collarbone, fill all the way up. Open your mouth, sigh out that breath. Palms connect in prayer at heart center, thumbs rest into the sternum. Beginning to the sound of a single Om. Inhale. Bow your head, blink your eyes open. All right, let's roll over the legs, find a tabletop position. In that tabletop position, turn the hands out. So the thumbs face forward, fingertips face the edge of your mat. And begin to draw some circles here with your torso, warming up the wrists, noticing your knees, your hips, your shoulders. If you haven't yet, change direction with those circles, going the other way. And just notice if the whole palm is able to stay flat on the mat. Try not to let any part of the hand lift up as you draw these circles. One more big breath. And pause in center. Turn your hands back so the thumbs face in, fingertips face forward. Exhale, tuck and round the spine. Inhale, lift and arch. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, lift and arch. Last time, exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, lift and arch. Come back to neutral. Walk your legs back a touch, and then lie all the way down to your belly. Nice. Palms stay there in line with the chest. Untuck the toes, press into the tops of the feet. Inhale, peel up chest and chin, baby or full cobra. Hug the elbows in, keep the neck long. Exhale, lower back down. Again, inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Last time, inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Press yourself up through tabletop, and then knees go wide, big toes touch. Child's pose, balasana. Easing into the practice, noticing each major joint. All little subtle sensations down the length of the spine, in your arms, and your legs. Take an inhale that expands the torso. Open your mouth, sigh out that breath. Lift the hips high enough you can tuck the toes. Send the hips up and back. Find your first downward facing dog. In that first down dog, feel free to pedal out the heels. Give your head a little shake. Feel the length in the back of the legs, maybe some of the stiffness in the body. We'll use the practice to get that out of the body. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Take a big step, top of your mat. Halfway lift. Inhale, extending the spine. Exhale to fold. And rooting down to the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Grow tall. Exhale, draw palms through prayer. Samsarihi Tadasana. In your mountain pose, shift the weight to the left foot. And then pick up the right foot. Take it out to the side. So it doesn't have to be very far. Just far enough that we feel the outer hip begin to engage. We're standing nice and tall. All the weight balanced here over the sole of the left foot. Crown of the head reaches up. Belly and ribs draw in. So quite strong here. Breathe. In through the nose, out through the nose. You've got one more breath. All right, exhale, release that right foot down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge and fold over the legs. Halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, place the palms, step the feet back, high plank. Turn all your toes to the right. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Nice, pushing into that outer edge of the left foot. Float the right leg up. And again, it doesn't have to be that high, just high enough that we feel the abduction, the work in the outer hip. We just did that standing. Same idea here. We just switched gravity up. One more breath. Exhale, roll through center, lower all the way down to your belly. Press into the tops of the feet. Inhale, peel up chest and chin, baby or full cobra. Exhale to lower back down. Push yourself up through tabletop and take child's pose. Knees wide, big toes touch, sinking hips to the heels, long arms, tall torso. Couple breaths here to settle. One more. All right, when you sigh that breath out, simply lift yourself up to a downward facing dog. In your down dog, sit bones press up. Foundation roots down. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Big step, top of the mat. Maybe leading with the opposite foot. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale to fold. Rooting down to the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Grow tall. Exhale, draw palms to prayer. Samstiti Tadasana. In your mountain pose, shift the weight to the right foot. Pick up the left foot and take it out to the side. So rather than the foot come forward or back, simply out to the side. Feeling the abductors, the outer hip here. Palms are still facing forward, shoulders drawing back and down, balancing here. And you might notice left side, right side is a little different. Try to keep rooting down into that sole of the right foot. Feeling really balanced. Belly and ribs drawing in. Try not to dump into the lumbar spine here. A few of us have that tendency in our standing balance postures. Last inhale. Exhale, release left foot down to meet the right. Inhale, sweep the arms up, grow tall. Exhale, hinge and fold over the legs. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, place the palms, step the feet back, high plank. Turn all your toes to the left, and then reach the left arm up, Savasana, side plank, pushing into the outer edge of that right foot, flip the left leg up. Again, it doesn't have to be very high, high enough that we feel the abductors, the outer hip. It's working here, shoulders are stacked. Don't let that right shoulder dip forward, keep drawing it back. One more, inhale. Exhale to roll through center, lower all the way down to your belly. Press into the tops of the feet. Inhale, peel up chest and chin, baby or full cobra. Exhale to lower down. Push yourself up through tabletop. Find your child's pose, Balasana. In that child's pose shape, settle into the mat. Acknowledge as the breath flows in through the nose, out through the nose. Last big breath. All right, as you sigh it out, lift your hips, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Sit bones lift up. Foundation roots down. Take an inhale. As you exhale, walk the hands back towards your feet. Find a standing forward fold near the back edge of your mat. Catch opposite elbows and simply dangle over your thighs. Soft bend to the knees so that the torso can easily connect with your thighs. Let the head grow heavy, so try not to look forward here, engaging and pinching the back of the neck. Look down and slightly back through the back of the neck. Get some traction there from gravity. One last breath. Release the arms. Inhale, begin to roll up to stand. Head comes up last. We find our Tadasana mountain pose at the back edge of the mat. Shift the weight to the left foot. This time, drive the right knee up and pause. So feeling the right hip flexor engage to lift that right leg up. And try not to hike the hip up here to lift the leg up. Keep the hips level. Right and left hip are the same height. We're feeling the hip flexor here at the front of the right leg engage. If you'd like, you can use one hand or both. Guide that right leg up a little bit higher. So this is some passive range. We'll train the active range by engaging the hip flexor again. Release the hand and keep the knee where you brought it to for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release that right foot down to the floor. Toes turn out in line with the knees. Sink down into a deep squat. Elbows can go inside the knees. Malasana, garland pose. Heart reaches for the thumbs. Extend up tall through the spine. Breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Now, whether there's a really strong shape or something that's a bit more stretchy, try to stay with that rhythm of breath you set up at the very beginning of practice in that seated meditative posture. Take one more inhale. As you sigh out the breath, push into your feet, stand all the way back up. Toes can turn forward so the feet are now parallel, hip width, Tadasana. Take a breath that fills the belly, the ribs, the collarbone. As you sigh that breath out, tuck your chin, roll back down. One vertebra at a time. When the hands find the floor, crawl them to the top of the mat, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up, three-leg dog. Exhale, knee to the nose. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, knee to the nose, and lightly step the foot in between the hands. Lower the left knee down, untuck the toes. Come up, hands at the hips. Press your hips forward and down, lengthening the front of the left thigh and the hip in this low lunge, Vinyasa. See if you can pull the belly and the ribs in slightly. It's a very subtle action. Some people will describe that as a tucking of the tailbone, and that might happen for you. But even that feeling just of engaging a little bit front side body, very helpful to find release in the front of that left hip. So we're not just dumping into the compression of lumbar spine. I feel the stretch. Nice, tuck the back toes. Maybe hands are on the hips to help you out here, keeping them level. Lift up that back knee. Work the legs straight. Sweep the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, cactus with the arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Once more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Sweep the arms back behind you. Lean forward over the right leg. More weight into that right foot. Lightly step the left foot to meet the right. Uttanasana, chair pose. Take a big inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down to your bum. Use your hands if you need. Try not to use your hands if you can. Extending the legs forward. Point the toes. Squeeze the legs together. The heels stay on the floor. They might slide, but don't let them lift. But you're going to roll yourself all the way down. One vertebra at a time until you find the floor. Soften for a moment. Take an inhale. As you exhale, draw that right knee into the chest, interlace the fingers over the shin, pull the thigh nice and close. And then you can release the right arm out to the side, palm face up. Use the left hand, guide that right leg across the body into a spinal twist. Keep the right shoulder and shoulder blade pressing down to the mat. Turn your gaze towards the right hand. Breathe here in through the nose, out through the nose. Noticing any tension you might be carrying there in the outer hip, or across the side body, maybe even into the chest and shoulder. It's okay if you're not going to your deepest point just yet. Really, especially as we start easing into the practice. Maybe it's been a long day, you've done a lot of different stuff this week to work out, you're a bit sore. We're not rushing anything, we're going by feeling and not our memory of where we might have pushed ourselves to previously. One more breath. All right, exhale to come back through center. Keep that right knee where it is. Bring the right elbow to connect to the right knee. Squeeze them together. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift head and shoulder blades off the floor and really find that connection. Squeeze their elbow and knee together. Squeeze them together. Kind of honor system here. I mean, the whole class is honor system. Breathe. One more breath. Feel that work in the hip flexor, the core, the side body, under your lats there. All right, exhale to release. Hug both knees into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Rock to the left and to the right, massaging the muscles, running up and down your spine. Really nice. Especially if you have tension in the low back. Make sure the low back and the sacrum come down towards the floor a little bit more as you rock side to side, so you can actually get that massage down into those points. Feet are together. Hands might be behind the knees to help you out here to gain some momentum. Begin to rock the length of your spine. Use enough momentum to rock forward, plant the feet, come up to chair pose, Uttanasana. Nice inhale, exhale, hinge and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, place the palm, step or jump the feet back, knees down if you need or keep them lifted. Take chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Exhaling back over the toes. Downward facing dog, really nice. Sit bones are lifted up. Foundation is rooting down. Carefully walk your hands back towards your feet. Again, finding that standing forward fold position near the back edge of your mat. Catch opposite elbows, this time the other forearm on top, and dangle. If you are locking the knees out, just notice that you're not getting any strain in the back of the knees or the low back. We're not reaching the bum super far back when we lock the knees out. Weight is still balanced from the toes to the heels. In fact, for a lot of us, a little soft bend of the knees will softly release the torso into the thighs, which can be a lot more releasing and less straining. Keep the breath flowing here. One more inhale. Open your mouth side out. Release the arms. Inhale, roll up to stand. Rise up with the inhale. All the way up to Tadasana, mountain pose. In that Tadasana mountain pose, shift the weight over towards the left foot. Right foot, sorry. Root down to the right foot, drive the left knee up. Press that leg up. And at the same time as you're lifting the leg up, notice your hips here. Right hip is level to the left hip, so don't lift the left hip in order to lift the leg. Keep the hips level. If you need to use one or both hands, you can use your hands here to guide that left leg a little bit higher, squeezing the hip flexor, and then keep it there. Release the hands. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release that leg all the way down. Toes turn out in line with the knees. Begin to sink all the way down to Malasana garland pose. Palms in prayer, elbows inside the knees. Push out as the legs hug in. Heart reaches for your thumbs. Garland pose. Feeling the inner thighs, the outer shoulders. You may feel your ankles a little bit here. It's really uncomfortable. The heels are lifted both times. You can always take a rolled up or folded blanket, place that underneath your heels for a bit of additional height. Feel better for those of us that have stiff ankles. One more breath. All right, exhale, push into the feet. Come all the way back up. Strong legs. Toes turn forward, feet are parallel, hip width. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, tuck your chin, begin to roll all the way down. One vertebra at a time. We take ourselves down towards the mats. When the hands find the floor, crawl the hands to the top of the mat, downward facing dog. Inhale, take the left leg up. Exhale, knee to the nose. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, knee to the nose. Step the left foot in between the hands. Lower the right knee down to the mat, untuck the toes. Come up, hands to the hips. Press your hips forward and down, lengthening the front of that right hip. So we get a lot of stretch there. If you're noticing you're getting mostly compression in the lumbar spine, think about drawing your belly and your ribs in slightly. It might feel like a tuck of the tailbone. It might just feel like engaging front side slightly to feel that release in the hip flexor on the right side. Hands are on the hips. Tuck the back toes. Pick up the knee and work the leg straight. Breathe here. And sweep the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, cactus with the arms. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, cactus. One more time. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, cactus. Sweep the arms back behind you. Lean forward over the left leg. Shifting more and more weight into that left foot. Lightly step the right foot to meet the left. Uttanasana, chair pose. Sink deeper and deeper into that chair. Come all the way down. If you have trouble sitting down without your hands, use your hands. Help yourself to the ground. Extend the legs forward. Point the toes. Squeeze the legs together. Heels can slide, but don't let them lift. You're going to roll yourself down, one vertebra at a time. Head comes down last. Soften there into the floor. Take an inhale. As you exhale, hug the left knee in towards the chest, interlace the fingers over the shin. Pull the thigh nice and close. And releasing the left hand out to the side, use your right hand, guide that left leg across the body into a spinal twist. Left shoulder stays heavy, pushing down towards the floor. Look towards your left hand in that reclined spinal twist. It's okay if the leg isn't finding the mat right away. Don't force it. Sometimes that can cause the shoulder to pop up or discomfort to come into the lumbar spine. Better to let that float. Just breath by breath, you start to find release. No strain. Just simply release. Keep the breath flowing here. In through the nose, out through the nose. Last big inhale. All right, exhale, carefully come back through center. Keep the left knee where it is. Take the left elbow and connect left elbow to left knee. Inhale. Exhale, lift head and shoulder blades up off the floor and squeeze them together. Feel the work in the hip flexor, your core, side body, left lats. So right underneath the armpit there. Breathe here, be strong. One more breath, squeeze. Okay, release. Hug both knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug here. Rock to the left and the right. Massage the muscles running up and down your spine. Feet are together. Hands behind the knees. Begin to rock the length of your spine. You're using some momentum here. If you find it really hard to use just momentum, you actually need your hands. Have the hands next to the hips. And when you rock forward with momentum, plant the feet. Use your hands, pop up. Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, hinge and fold over the legs. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, place the palm, step jump, or float the feet back right to chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Pedal at the heels here. Just notice as things start to shift and change for your body as you warm up. Maybe your home is just as warm as my home is at the moment. So you're getting some ambient heat, also helping with that warming. Take an inhale, open your mouth, sigh out the breath. Carefully lower your knees down to the mat. Find tabletop. In that tabletop, exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, lift and arch. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, lift and arch. Last time, exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, lift and arch. Come back to neutral. Shift the weight to the left hand a bit more. And inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, right arm reaches underneath the left. Tap the shoulder to the floor. Inhale, reach up and open. Exhale, reach underneath. Tap shoulder to the floor. Inhale, reach up and open. And on this last time, exhale, reach underneath. Pause once the shoulder finds the floor. Hips are stacked on top of the knees. Left hand can stay pushing into the floor if you need that bracing. You can also reach the left hand up and back, pushing into the low back and sacrum, or all the way around the low back, find the right inner thigh. Use some traction here, pull the shoulder back, look up and over the left shoulder towards the ceiling. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. In that twisted shape. Might be a little more challenging to breathe, so do your best to find the breath. Inhales for the belly, the ribs, the collarbone. One more breath. Exhale to release, left hand down to the mat. Push and lift back up to tabletop. In that tabletop position, walk your hands towards your knees and come up into an upright kneeling shape. Toes are tucked. You can also take blocks and put them next to the heels, next to the ankles, especially if you have small feet. And you can take the hands to the blocks if that's more accessible for you in your Ustrasana, camel pose. Hands to the hips here, we'll do prep first. Tuck the tailbone slightly and allow the hips to shift forward. So it's kind of that same sensation, belly and ribs drawing in, little tuck to the tailbone, the feeling of lunging, but now with both hips pressing forward. Hands on the hips, squeeze the elbows towards each other behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and feel like you're lifting your sternum up to the ceiling. That already feels like, whoa, I can barely breathe, you're turning red in the face, and this might be too much. Back off a touch and just stay there, hips pressing forward. If you have more to give, take the hands back and down. Maybe they find the heels or the ankles, and continue to feel like you're lifting the sternum up, pushing the hips forward. The last thing to happen, only if it feels okay, is to drop the head back. I should say carefully lower the head back. Extending the cervical spine, your neck. This creates any feelings of impingement or pain in the back of the neck or in your lumbar spine. Please lift up. Listen to your body this evening. One more breath. It might not be evening where you are watching the recording. As you exhale, carefully lift yourself all the way back up. Shift the weight towards the left knee. Step the right foot forward. Nice. Instead of letting the hips press forward and down, keep pulling the hips back slightly. Tuck your tailbone. Interlace the fingers and press into the right thigh. Back toes can stay tucked. You can have them untucked. That feels better. Just a slightly different way to find that stretch in the quadricep and the hip on the left side. Try to round your spine a little bit more. Tuck your tailbone a little bit more. One more breath. All right, exhale, soften. Now, keeping the left hip stacked on top of the knee. If you have sensitive knees, double fold the mat or use a blanket under the knee. Wiggle the right foot forward and begin to straighten that right leg without locking the knee. The toes lift up off the floor. Hinging at the hips, keep the spine somewhat extended as you find Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. You might take the hands all the way down to the floor if you want a little added height. Blocks at any height on either side of the right leg. Half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. All right, rather than locking the knee and trying to come as low as we can, but it's all pretty much spinal flexion or rounding for some of us. Better to keep that little bend in the knee, bit taller spine. It's really not that dissimilar from what we're looking for in our standing forward folds. Same idea, right? Not strain, we're looking for release. Give yourself another breath or two to find release in your right hamstrings. And the next time you exhale, bend into the right knee, tuck the back toes, come up. Right hand to the right hip, inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale, left elbow outside the right thigh, connect, push them together. So feel the elbow push into the thigh for sure, but also find the thigh pushing into the elbow, creating some resistance. Palms connect in prayer, lean the right shoulder blade back, and notice how that actually takes your sternum and thumbs towards each other without having to round forward into it. If you're feeling really steady, look at one point, either the floor, the side wall, or the ceiling. Begin to tuck the back toes if they're not already tucked, and lift the back knee up off the floor. Breathe here, in through the nose, out through the nose. You've got one more breath. Exhale, release the hands down either side of that right foot. Begin to work both legs straight, pyramid pose. Back heel can spin down to the floor. Crown of the head is actually trying to pull forward as the hips draw back. If you need a little bit more support, more height here, blocks at any height setting underneath the hands. Right, just like our Ardha Hanumanasana, our half splits, in our pyramid pose, we're looking for that length, not just in the hamstring, but also through the torso. Just one more breath. You're doing so well. Exhale to release. Bend into the right knee, plant the palms, step the right foot back. Take a vinyasa. Chaturanga to upward facing dog. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. We just notice here left side, right side, how things might start to be changing. Carefully walk your hands back towards your feet. Let us standing forward, fold back of the mat. And you can have an option here to either catch opposite elbows in front of the shins and simply dangle. You can catch the arms behind the legs. Use some traction here, pull yourself even closer to the thighs. Or you can take Padangusthasana, peace fingers, grab the big toes, bend the elbows out to the sides of the room, pull yourself a little deeper into your standing forward fold. Take an inhale, open your mouth, sigh out that breath. Releasing the hands, crawl the hands to the top of the mat, downward facing dog. Right leg goes up, inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, right knee, right elbow, touch, keep it there. Slide the knee down to the wrist, and then without wiggling the foot on the floor, turn the right foot to the left edge of your mat. The right shin finds the floor, likely at a bit of an angle for most of us here. Let the left knee come down, setting up for pigeon pose. You may need to take one of your blocks or one of your blankets with you to put underneath your sit bone, so have that nearby. Start to walk the left foot and left knee backwards. If as you walk back, you feel like the hip comes down okay, the hips are staying relatively level, then you might stay here, pushing into your palms or fingertips. Hands could even be next to the hips. Stay upright to begin. If though, as you try to come down, you're getting sensation in the knee, you feel stuck, take your prop, put it underneath the sit bone. The shin remains on the floor, even as we are propped underneath that right sit bone. Sitting up nice and tall, not standing. The left hip is an extension. We're stretching the back of the right hip. No knee sensation here. This is not a knee opener. Try to breathe. And see if you can pull the belly and the ribs in slightly in this upright version. If you'd like to sleep your swan, pronate the pigeon. Carefully walk the hands forward. You can come down to forearms. You can even walk the hands all the way forward or out to the sides and lie flat over the legs. Breathe here, in through the nose, out through the nose. Letting the breath be relatively comfortable and easy despite the effort of the practice. You've got one more breath. As you sigh that breath out, walk your hands back in, really nice. Push into your palms, tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee up off the floor, and then slide the right knee up the right arm, step the right foot back. Take a Vinyasa if you want the heat. Go right to downward facing dog. Taking Skipasana if you need to conserve the energy. You find your down dog, pedal up the heels, feel left side, right side. Notice the balance or the shift in your body. Carefully lower your knees down to the mat, tabletop. Palms under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Exhale, tuck and rounds. Inhale, lift and arch. Exhale, tuck and rounds. Inhale, lift and arch. Last time, exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, lift and arch. Come back to neutral, shift the weight more to the right hand. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale, left arm underneath the right, tap shoulder to the floor. Inhale, reach up and open. Exhale, left arm underneath the right, tap. Last time, inhale, reach up and open. Exhale, left arm under the right, tap and pause. Right hand can stay where it is, giving you some leverage, some support. You can also release the right hand from the mat, push into your low back or lumbar spine. You can also reach all the way around the low back, find the left inner thigh. Use that as subtraction to pull the shoulder back and look up over the right shoulder. Even though we're getting some restriction here in the twist, do your best to find the breath here, filling belly, ribs, collarbone. One more inhale. Exhale, release, right hand to the floor. Push down, rise back up to tabletop. From your tabletop, walk your hands to your knees, come up into an upright kneeling shape. In that upright kneeling shape, hands to the hips, tuck the tailbone slightly, push your hips forward. Squeeze the elbows together, the shoulder blades together. Lift the sternum up. Stay if you need to, or let the hands come down towards the ankles or the heels. You can also untuck the toes, taking yourself a little deeper into Ustrasana. Last thing to drop back, lower back, is the head. Breathe here in your camel, Ustrasana. Lots of length through front side body. Breathe here. One more inhale. Exhale, pull yourself all the way back up. The weight shifts more to the right knee, set the left foot forward. Now, instead of letting the hips sink forward and down, feel like you're staying stacked here. Tuck the tailbone slightly. Interlace your fingers, push into the left thigh. Round your spine. Just another way to find that stretch at the front of the hip. Breathe here. You might even feel that down into the right quadriceps, the front of the right thigh. Take one more inhale. All right, exhale to soften. Hands to the hips, tuck the back toes. Keep the left hand where it is. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, twist. Right elbow outside the left thigh and connect the elbow to the thigh back into the elbow. Push them together. Palms connect in prayer. Lean the left shoulder blade back. Heart reaches for the thumbs. All right, that twist is already fairly intense here. Please feel free to stay. You are also welcome to look down, look to the side or to the ceiling, set your drishti point, tuck the back toes, and pick up the knee. Breathe here. Really nicely done. Stay with the effort. One more breath. All right, exhale to release through center. Lower that right knee back down to the floor. Shift your hips back, working the left leg straight. It's okay if the knee has a little bend in it. If you need height, hands on blocks, one on each side of the leg for a bit more length. Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Really finding that balance between stretching the hamstring, sure, but also keeping the spine a little bit more extended, not only letting it flex and kind of find that cat-like shape, especially prevalent in those that are tight when they lock the knee and soften the kneecap. Keep a little bend, extend the spine. You'll get a nicer release, honestly. Just one more breath. All right, as you sigh that breath out, bend into the left knee. Beautiful here. You can tuck the back toes, pick up the knee, shift the hips up and back. Find your pyramid pose. Breathing in your pyramid, try not to round the spine. Instead, you're also trying to extend here, nice and tall through the spine. Hips are drawing back. Breathing into the back of the left leg. Try not to hold the breath. One more inhale. As you sigh that breath out, bend into the left knee, props out of the way, plant the palms, step back. Right, so you can take a vinyasa or go right to downward facing dog. It's really up to you. When you get to your downward facing dog, pedal at the heels. Give your head a little shake. And carefully walk your hands back towards your feet. Find a standing forward fold at the back edge of your mat. Option to catch opposite elbows as we've done all practice. You can also reach behind the legs. Use that as traction. Get a little closer. Or Padangusthasana, grabbing the big toes with your peace fingers. Elbows bent out to the sides of the room. Crown of the head pulls down. Breathe into backside body, posterior chain. Connect torso to the thighs. Lift the sit bones up and away from your heels. One more breath. As you sigh out the breath, release the hands from the feet. Crawl the hands to the top of the mat. Downward facing dog. Inhale, take the left leg up. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Keep it there. Slide the knee down to the wrist. Reach the left foot over to the right edge of the mat. Shins down to the floor. Right knee down to the mat. If you need a prop, you can take a blanket or a block underneath the left sit bones. To come down, walk the right foot and right knee further back until we find the floor. Stay upright in your pigeon. In that pigeon shape, we're breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Stay upright so that we actually feel the hip flexor on the right side stretch, the back of the left hip stretch, piriformis and glute med. It's a little bit different from just diving right into a sleeping swan or a prone pigeon. Keep trying to draw the belly and the ribs slightly in the upright version. If you would like to sleep the swan, carefully walk the hands forward. Bring forearms down to the floor or lie all the way flat, arms reaching forward. In our more yang practice, we always call this pose pigeon. In our yin practice, we refer to it as swan, and honestly, swan sounds so much nicer. Breathe here, in through the nose, out through the nose. We've got one more breath. As you sigh that out, you can carefully walk the hands back towards the legs, push into your palms. Tuck the back toes, pick up the knee, slide the left leg up, step back. One last vinyasa. If you've got it in you, take chaturanga to up dog. You can always skip that, go right to downward facing dog. Check in with the hips, the shoulders, the length of your spine in this final downward facing dog. If you know how to jump through, you might jump through. You can also simply step to the top of the mat and sit down. Take your time. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step or jump into a seated position at the top of the mat. Nice. In that seated position, lean back, extend the legs forward, give them a little shake. Squeezing the legs together, point the toes. Begin to roll all the way down. Take the blocks with you, just in case you decide you'd like to use them. Lying all the way down, flat on your back. Soften for a moment. You can bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Connect the soles of the feet and let the knees drop out wide. Supta Baddha Konasana. In your reclined butterfly, you are welcome to take the blocks or the blankets that you have and place them underneath the thighs or the knees for support. Palms face up a little ways away from the thighs. The arms can reach wide, or one of my favorites is actually to take the arms into cactus. So we get a subtle tug across the front of the shoulder or chest if you've been doing a lot of pushing and strengthening of the upper body. So notice how the body feels here. Take an inhale that expands the torso. Open your mouth, sigh out the breath. Reach down with your hands. Close the legs like a book. Straighten the legs, lie flat. Take rest, Savasana. If you feel like you need to spend a longer time here, go ahead and put on some of your favorite music, set a timer. Take a long Savasana if you need it. If you're choosing to come back with me here, come back to lengthening your inhales and your exhales. Move your fingers, move your toes, turn your head side to side. You can inhale, give yourself a stretch, grow really tall. And exhale to soften. One more time, inhale, stretch it out. Exhale to soften. Bend your knees, either roll to one side or rock up into a seated position. Sit cross-legged or kneeling, stacking the spine up nice and tall. Rest your palms flat on the thighs. Take an inhale that expands the belly, the ribs, the collarbone, fill all the way up. Inhale. Open your mouth, sigh out the breath. Palms connect in prayer, heart center, thumbs rest into the sternum, closing to the sound of a single Om. Inhale. Bow your head. Thanks for being here to share this energy. Please take some of this with you off the mat to share with the ones that you love. Namaste. Really appreciate your effort and your energy. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or reach out via email or DM on Instagram. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Drink lots of water, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye, everyone.